afternoon and welcome to St. NewsFile. I'm Vincent Lavoie. The one and only Austin Lee will have sports coming up, but first let's check with the colorful and joyful Kara Lentz with the weather. Kara, how is it out there?
Hi, Vinny. Thanks. It is Calgary's high is 4 degrees today, and that is nothing compared to what it was 18 last year at minus 18 degrees. Not quite warm enough to melt any of that snow or anything like that. If only we could go back to 1996 when the high was 13.5 degrees. And talking about really cold, minus 34 was the record low in 1923, and that was also the same year that the Calgary Stampede introduced the chuck wagons. But we'll talk a little bit more about weather later on in the show. Vinny?
Thank you, Kara. Austin, in the sports, I've heard that there was a big shakeup in the Trojans. Are they even going to make it until the end of the season?
Yeah, well, the change-up happened in their coaching staff for the women's volleyball team, actually, and they'll be able to finish the season with that coach. We'll have more on that later in sports.
Let's have a look at today's top stories. One Calgary councillor is facing heat from the public after using taxpayers' money at his own expense. Many Calgarians are upset about this newfound information and are starting to take matters into their own hands. Sean Marks has the story.
Calgarians feel betrayed. Calgarians have been betrayed.
City Councillor Jeremy Farkas wants one of his colleagues to be held accountable. Ward 2 Councillor Joe Maglioka is currently under fire for expensing more than $6,000 of taxpayers' money on liquor and food at a municipal conference in Quebec last year. Councillor Farkas is unhappy with the way the city monitors how public money is being spent. Farkas says there needs to be more accountability.
There's a lot of loosey-goosey rules in terms of how councillors can spend money around here, and I think it's time to put councillors on a much shorter leash when it comes to the spending of taxpayer dollars.
A new petition that came out yesterday has been circulating the web asking for Maglioka to step down. Ward 8 Councillor Evan Woolley believes it's too soon to address the petition when there are more formal methods currently in place.
We have an active investigation underway, and as such I think it's important for us to let that process see itself through.
Woolley also says Maglioka himself wanted to move forward with a formal investigation into his personal spending and expenses and feels the councillor should get benefit of the doubt until the investigation is over. Councillor Jody Gondek is concerned about the possibility of the Alberta government intervening, but believes they've taken the right steps to avoid that.
The minute we found out that our existing integrity commissioner would have to recuse himself, we acted immediately as a council. We brought this notice of motion that's asking for a forensic investigation.
The petition calling for Councillor Maglioka's resignation has reached over 260 signatures and counting, with those who've signed the petition calling Maglioka fraudulent and disgraceful. W. Simpson, the person who started the petition on change.org, only needs 500 signatures before they can bring it in front of Calgary City Council. For St. NewsFile, I'm Sean Marks.
A man is now in stable condition after being stabbed yesterday evening. The event occurred in the community of Dover in the city's southeast. Police says a knife was found on the scene. At the moment, no suspects have been pointed out by police and no charges have been laid. People with any information are encouraged to contact the Calgary Crime Stoppers at the number showing on your screen. One new social media trend called the Skullbreaker Challenge is sweeping the internet and has parents around the nation concerned. Ronaldo Suarez joins us live from the State Newsroom. Ronaldo, what's the latest on the new and dangerous TikTok trend?
That's right, Vincent. The prank is where people convince someone to jump up in the air and then kick the jumping person's feet from under them, causing them to fall flat on their back. The dangerous prank has been making its way around social media, and more teens are sharing their attempt at it. In Canada, there's approximately 25.3 million social network users, and that figure is projected to grow to 27.1 million by 2023. Teens from ages 13 to 17 report checking social media more than once a day, with an estimate of 24% of those teens claiming to be addicted to social media.
When we get into a group, we're taking all this information from a group, but if we're doing it online, and it's all about just a thumbs up, or a new follower, or a random comment, we're not getting those things that we've actually been physiologically primed for. We're getting something artificial.
Never mind artificial, the Skullbreaker Challenge has a high probability of getting someone hurt. Since the participant is not aware of the prank, they have no time to brace themselves when they fall, and that can result in severe injuries. Some teens, like junior high student Eve Hall, think that the main reason one of her fellow teens may try this challenge is to just get attention.
They're trying to be funny so that maybe they can go viral and gain popularity and entertain people, I guess, but it's pretty stupid.
One Ontario parent said her daughter was the victim of the prank and could have easily been sent to the hospital. Her daughter walked away with a bruised hip, elbow, and sore shoulder. Junior high student Maria Phillips thinks social media isn't all negative. There are pros and cons to it and can be a great tool to socialize with others.
There's also good stuff to it, I guess, because then you can text your friends, see what they're going on in their life. But then there's the bad sides too.
So whether or not you use TikTok, it's important to remember not to fall under peer pressure and to use common sense before you film something and posting it online.
All right, thanks Ronaldo. Ronaldo Suarez reporting live from the State Newsroom. TikTok has more than 500 million users worldwide. Calgary Police and the Humane Society have begun to investigate a home in Marlborough Park after around 30 dogs were found inside this morning. Police were called to the home for separate matters when the animals were discovered, and the Humane Society was quickly brought in to assist around 9. Charges won't be laid until there is a full picture of what level of distress the animals endured. It's back to school for teachers this week as thousands of Calgary school teachers head to Teachers Convention. They are there to learn some new tips and tricks to bring to the classroom. As Chimsey Uguru reports, proper teacher training is in the best interest for everyone.
From cradle to adulthood, teachers are like the potter. They mold and shape our minds in the most delicate of ways that leave lasting impressions and define who we are.
We want teachers to be able to know how they can do new approaches, help students to adapt to these new challenges that we have. We want to make fun learning for them. So again, that's another thing. If we could do things that are more hands-on, more technology-based.
Although anyone can train to become a teacher, not everyone can diligently and painstakingly perform the task of teaching in a way that will produce stable and intelligent students.
I think the more teachers are supported, then that trickles down, of course, to the direct work with the students, and then we see the students being successful with the ability to read and write, think critically, to be curious.
As we head into the future, the type of skills and training required for the next generation will all but depend on the quality of teaching staff society will produce.
Well, if there's more hands-on, more real-life experience, then they love the science. If you're doing hands-on again with math, then they're drawn to that. And
retooling has always been the hallmark for success and improved performance. And in a profession like teaching, at the heart of how society improves and succeeds, conferences like this enable teachers to reposition themselves and prepare for the future. For State NewsFile, I'm Chimezie Oguru.
With Valentine's Day happening tomorrow, police have issued a warning about who your flowers and chocolates might be for. The past 4 years have seen more than $4 million to romance scammers, and that's only including cases that were reported to the police. While romance scams are no new fad, scamming tactics are prone to change, which allows for a broad range of potential victims.
One of the unique aspects of romance scams versus a traditional scam is that although there's a smaller number of victims, the dollar value associated, the per loss per victim, is significantly higher.
Approximately 20% of the victims in the 128 cases reported to authorities were male, and the average age of romance scam victims is 49 years for both men and women. Valentine's Day is tomorrow, and many Calgarians are hustling around the city trying to buy last-minute romantic gifts for their loved ones. Many local businesses look forward to this day of love, as millions of dollars are spent every year on gifts. Amy Michaelis reports on the impact that holidays like Valentine's Day have on local businesses.
Valentine's Day is the day where people express their love. More often than not, this love is shown through the purchasing of gifts, and shops throughout Calgary are filled with rows upon rows of chocolates, heart-shaped treats, teddies, and more. One of the most popular gifts on Valentine's Day, however, is flowers. Around $76 million are spent on roses in Canada on this specific holiday, and many local flower shops say they see a massive spike in their sales, which helps keep things running with our current economy.
So Valentine's is the busiest single day of the year that we have. I would say the business is about 4 times as busy as normal. Like it's even more maybe, it just depends.
While many people may be shocked at the amount of money spent on flowers, it's not the thing that Canadians spend the most money on. Another popular gift is a piece of jewelry. It's hard to believe, but around $6.5 billion, that's billion dollars, are spent on these beautiful items on Valentine's Day in Canada alone. Many people love receiving jewelry as a gift because it shows how much a person cares.
It shows a sense of appreciation, shows a sense of wanting to please their partner, things like that. I think there's something to be said when they do spend some time on designing something or picking something very personal. That shows that they're really interested in their partner and listening.
While many people struggle to find the perfect gift for that special someone on Valentine's Day, many local businesses make sure they have plenty of options for shoppers and look forward to the business that comes with holidays like these. For State NewsFile, I'm Amy Michaelis.
Those are today's top stories. We'll have your full forecast for you after the break, but first, the colorful and joyful Carol Lentz has a look at what's going on in Calgary this week.
Make all your wedding dreams come true at the Calgary Romance Travel Show. It's the 10th annual Destination Wedding and Honeymoon Expo. Might be a fun event to kick off Valentine's Day, starting tonight 5 until 9 at the premier Best Western. Sing your heart away with your honey and get your country boots on. Old Dominion will be at the Scotiabank Saddledome tomorrow, show starting at 7:30. Although Christmas is over, there is still fun to be had at the Winter Family Fest with a live DJ, snowshoeing, warm bonfires this Sunday at South Glenmore Park. Support your local St. Trojans women's hockey team as they take on the Nate Ooks at States Arena at 7. Light up the night at Glow Winter Festival with 3 full days of lights and 35 music artists, ice sculptures, axe throwing, and ice slide. Starting tomorrow until Sunday along Stephen Avenue. Things are about to get a little fishy at Fishtival. Come discover Alberta's fish while playing games like beanbag toss, fish identification, tic-tac-toe, and more this Saturday starting at 10 a.m. at the Bow Habitat Station.
You don't want this to be your last memory. Think before you drink. A message from Mad Canada.
Come and learn the fast-paced world of television production. Find your passion to write, shoot, edit, and direct news, sports, and dramatic productions. With industry-standard technology and the best instructors in the business, SAIT's television production program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in broadcasting. This is television production. Come and dare to be on air.
Well, this cold weather really has me dreaming of spring weather, and anything nice, a vacation, even wouldn't be so bad. And I heard the other day that Calgary can get snow up until April, which is a little bit disappointing. Almost makes me want to move to Vancouver, which is moister than an oyster. And in Vancouver today, there is some rainfall, and that will continue throughout the week. And Regina and Winnipeg are seeing really cold conditions as there is a cold warning in effect. And that will turn even worse tonight, reaching the -40s. So if you are outside, which I would strongly avoid, I would say dress nice and warm. And in Edmonton, seems like not too bad of a day with temperatures at -9. And this cold front is moving east into Toronto and Montreal as well. A little bit of scattered flurries there, and they will be seeing cold temperatures tonight. Halifax got about 5-10 centimeters of snow, and if you're looking to escape the cold, why don't take a look at the resorts. Feed meet some giraffes in sunny Palm Springs at Living Desert Zoo, take a dip in the warm Barbados waters, enjoy a pina colada in Cancun to get you in that vacation spirit, hula your heart out in Honolulu, not the sunniest in Orlando today, but wear that sunscreen to prevent an overcast burn. Las Vegas is cooler, so might be the perfect day to hit up the M&M shop on the Strip. And in Calgary today, the current temperature is -11 with a mix of sun and cloud, and the wind coming in from the south at 13 kilometers an hour. Up next, partly cloudy conditions, better than snow and rain though, that's for sure. If we take a look at the rest of the province in Alberta, that cold front is moving up towards Fort McMurray at -15. If you're traveling to Edmonton today, make sure to drive careful. They will be seeing some wet rain, which can lead to slippery conditions, so make sure to drive safe. And surprising, but Lethbridge is our hot spot at 6 degrees today, which usually it's pretty windy, so a little bit of a shock there. If you're looking for something to do, some snow, Banff has a little bit of flurries going on. I find it's always beautiful regardless, always some nice views to check out. And Medhat is at a pretty mild, neutral day today. Maybe a good day to get outside, take the kids for a walk and the dogs out to the park. Looking at the 5-day forecast, partly cloudy conditions tonight, mix of sun and cloud tomorrow, and that will continue into Saturday and Monday as well. Perfect just in time for the long weekend. Let's take a look at the snow report. Fernie has seen about 6 centimeters of snow over the past 24 hours, adding to the snow-packed hills. It's mainly cloudy and a pretty chilly day, so make sure you're dressed head to toe in warm gear. Maybe even bring some hand warmers for in your mitts. No new snowfall for Panorama, and they are experiencing a bit of overcast. It looks like all the chairlifts are open today, so if it's a busy day, hopefully all chairs being open help with the congestion that ski hills often see. Sunshine Village is living up to its name with a nice sunny sky, probably the best place to hit the slopes today with a fresh powder and a base of 170 centimeters, lots of snow to enjoy. Norquay is pretty cloudy today, but they did receive some fresh snow last night, hopefully helps with the packed runs. If you're feeling like you don't want to ski today or have a little bit of extra time after, hit up the Tube Park. Visit the beautiful Lake Louise. Even though it's not the sunniest day, still a good day to shred some snow. A little bit of a chilly day, so after hitting the hills, maybe head to Slopeslide Coffee Bar for a nice drink to warm you up.
So, Austin, the playoffs are coming really quickly in the NHL, and are the Flames going to be part of it?
It's hard to say. Like my tie, they've been a little bit spotty, so it's a little bit of inconsistent play. We'll get more into what happened in last night's game later on in the cast. After a solid performance on the court for state's basketball teams, the Trojans have released their top athletes of the week. Charlie Connor of the men's basketball team takes home the honor for the men, averaging 20 points in his last 2 games. The top female athlete of the week was awarded to Lauren Bailey of the women's basketball team. Unfortunately, though, her strong play wasn't enough as the women of Troy dropped back-to-back contests against Red Deer College. The team of the week, really no surprise here. The men's basketball team, they have been on fire. They've now won 9 straight games. The St. Trojans women's volleyball team will need to begin searching for a new head coach. Art O'Dwyer has announced he will retire at the end of the season after coaching the team for 9 years. He reached the playoffs 5 times during his stint with the club and was named the ACAC South Division Coach of the Year in 2016. O'Dwyer says he's had many valuable experiences during his time with the Trojans.
I mean, every day you learn how to deal with people, how to motivate them, how to make them the best they can be. And then you've got to spend a lot of time planning and spending your energy and time on things that are important to make the team better. So it's a never ending as far as valuable things for sure.
O'Dwyer says his coaching career has gone long enough and he looks forward to spending more time with his family. The Calgary Flames up and down season continued on the road last night. No scoring in the first period, so we'll pick things up in the middle frame while Calvin Peterson bobbles the rubber behind his own cage. Matthew Tkachuk picks up the scraps, and you saw right there, he fed Michael Backlund right in front. That's Backlund's 8th goal of the year. Under a minute later, now the Flames, they scored, but the Kings respond quick. Kopitar stopped right in front, but wide open on the doorstep. Tyler Toffoli makes no mistake. So he gets that one, and the Kings are on the board. Now in the third period, the Kings have a 1-goal lead before some slick passing, and Jeff Carter tucks that one away right in the slot. Carter's goal would be the game winner, and the Kings added an empty netter to cap off the night. Calgary has now dropped 6 of their last 10 games, but they still sit at the top wildcard spot in the Western Conference. Pretty surprising, 10 different Kings players found the score sheet in the tilt. Calvin Peterson stood tall, and David Riddick on the other end managed to stop 28 of the 32 shots he faced in his team's losing effort. 2 Canucks legends saw their numbers raised to the rafters before last night's contest between Vancouver and the Chicago Blackhawks. Henrik and Daniel Sedin spent their entire 17-year careers with the Canucks. The Twins were drafted 2nd and 3rd overall, respectively, in the 1999 NHL entry draft and went on to score more than 1,000 points each. Last night's retirement ceremony celebrated the Sedins' illustrious careers, and it featured a light-hearted roast of the Twins put on by their former teammate Kevin Bieksa. Canucks went on to win the game that followed the ceremony by a score of 3-0. The Free Ski and Snowboard World Cup has kicked off the qualification round for both the halfpipe and the slopestyle events in Calgary. McKenna Jameson joins us live from the Canada Olympic Park. McKenna, what's this event all about, and what can people expect in the coming days?
That's right, Austin. Right behind me is the half pipe that the athletes have been competing on, and right next to it is the slopestyle track. Both the men's and women's have been putting on a show during the qualifiers, but the finals will be coming out soon, and they'll for sure put on. This is the second time that Calgary has held the 5th Free Ski and Snowboard World Cup. Many skiers and snowboarders from around the world compete in their events to eventually make it onto the podium. This week, the halfpipe and slopestyle course has been the main attractions.
If I know events, it takes a couple years for things to build up and for people to know that it's happening here at COP, and I think that it will grow in the future and be really well known.
There are many Olympic athletes competing in the World Cup as well this week, which draws quite a crowd so everyone can see these Olympians in action on the slopes. Names like Tyler Nicholson and Cassie Sharp are competing in their respective events. Even halfpipe announcer Mercedes Nichol has represented Canada 4 times at the Winter Olympics.
Having Olympians ride here does draw a crowd. It's pretty exciting, and under the lights, having a night finals for halfpipe really makes a show for people in Calgary.
Canada Olympic Park has always been a popular venue to hold events like the World Cup, and the success that it had last year really shows how much the athletes, workers, and even fans have fun at the competition. They hope to bring more attention into the world of freestyle skiing and snowboarding in preparation for the next Winter Olympics in 2022 in Beijing.
Ski halfpipe finals will start tomorrow at 6, and the other final events go on until Sunday afternoon. With exam season underway, students are taking advantage of some stress-relieving options here at SAIT. For some, keeping active is the best way to take a break from the academic demands ahead of reading week. Ryder McKay reports on the positive impact being active during this time of year has.
Most experts agree one of the best things you can do when stressed is get active. In most cases, having the chance to break away for a short period of time and get your mind off that daunting task is critical to your well-being and mental health. According to Stats Canada, only 16% of the population gets enough physical activity. That means 84% of Canadians are not. The positive power of sport and being active for even just half an hour can change your entire day. SAIT offers a variety of ways to get active and has something for everyone. SAIT's Wellness Center encourages people to bond outside the classroom and overall just feel better.
It takes away the stress of the day. So it's kind of a vital thing for a lot of people. It doesn't matter what you do, or if it's weightlifting, it's running, even if it's just playing something like ping pong or shooting basketballs. It's a nice time to have a good stress relief and get some activity through your body.
While many people use it as a stress relief option, for some it's also a chance to make new friends and connections.
If we we make connection in class, but here is good. So we know each other, we play good, and which is very good because it keeps you active and relieve all the stress so that your mind is fresh, and next class you'll do good.
Whether you're into individual sports like ping pong and man deep, or the guys throwing the hoops around behind me, there's a little bit of something at SAIT Intramurals for everyone. For SAIT NewsFile, I'm Ryder McKay.
And that's a look at sports.
Well, actually, I'm just wondering, did you use any of the facilities we have on campus?
Yeah, I'm on the intramural hockey team, and we had a rough start, but we got a brand new head coach, and things are looking up.
Great, that's great to hear. So those are today's top stories. After the break, we'll be taking a look into the world of aromatherapy. Stay tuned.
How does this dog look to you? Or this kitten? They're happy, and yet they're homeless, staying with another family until they find you. ARF has helped give over 2,500 animals forever homes. Why not be the net? Help us help them. You rescue, I rescue. ARF, caring for those in need.
Come and learn the breaking world of broadcast news. Find your passion to investigate, write, shoot, edit, and deliver the stories of the day. SAIT's broadcast news program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in radio and television. Become the next great anchor, reporter, or personality using industry standard technology alongside qualified instructors with years of experience. This is Broadcast News. Come and dare to be on air.
Aromatherapy and the use of essential oils has been on the rise in recent years for uses like scents and medicating. Nelson Boyce sat down with an aromatherapist to discuss what goes in to make these oils.
Aromatherapy has been on the rise as an alternative to over-the-counter medicine. It has been dated back to the days of Cleopatra using rosewater for her baths. I sat down with Jennifer Winter, a local aromatherapist, to discuss its benefits.
I started with aromatherapy when I learned and experienced the power of essential oils as complementary to allopathic regular medicine. I found them effective, not as many side effects, and they were naturally occurring, so that felt better to me than synthetic meds, although I do still believe there's a place for synthetic meds.
Jennifer showed us a blend she makes for a client of hers.
I made a proprietary blend that I developed for a local spa who wanted to cover the smell of burnt hair during hair removal and have a nice, fresh, welcoming, relaxing, calming blend for people to come into the spa with.
The ingredients for this blend are as follows.
Lavender, so lavender angustifolia, sweet marjoram, bergamot, oh good grief, vetiver, benzoin, bay laurel, laurel nobilis, geranium.
We also asked Jennifer if she finds it works better than over-the-counter medicine.
I find that I myself personally have been able to head off some viral bronchitis that I get. I'm not saying that you should use these instead of medications from a doctor, and you should always check with your doctor if you're unsure.
For SAIT NewsFile, I'm Nelson Boyce.
Alberta's Special Olympic Games team was given the provincial send-off by the Minister of Multiculturalism, Lila Ahir, and the Heritage Christian School yesterday. The minister spoke of how critical it was for special needs people to have a chance to achieve their dreams and praised the input and contributions of their coaches and parents. Minister Ahir said she was humbled to be in the midst of such talented and special people and assured the government was doing all it could to address the plight of people with disabilities.
The amazing people that are behind the scenes that support these incredible athletes. It's, as a government, we're just so honored to be able to participate in a very small way.
As Team Alberta departs of the Games in Ontario, all of Alberta will be joining their families and coaches, holding out hope for a very rewarding Games. Well, that was today's edition of SAIT NewsFile. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you in 2 weeks after the Green Week.